election, I have been in election from 1997.
In 2007, I saw you at KICC. We spoke a couple of times, and at that time, you believe some people had stolen the victory that you had won.
It was not me. It was Kivuitu. Kivuitu, you had Kivuitu. What was?
You complained
No,
about
absolutely, because
giving us figures from Juja,
absolutely, because it was Kivuitu himself who was running the elections, who was telling us, "I have no clue." Now, the chairman of the Electoral Commission was telling us, "I have no clue where the returning officers are. I am not sure of these numbers. I am not clear about this." Right? So, what do you do when the arbiter, when the fellow who is supposed to tell us whether the election has gone this way or that way is unsure themselves? I don't think we have been in any other scenario where the Electoral Commission have not been sure about the outcome of an election ever since we left 2007.
But ODM at the time, which you were part of, said that you had won that election, but it was rigged, it was stolen. Are you saying today that you're not sure whether you won 2007 or not?
Let me tell you, Joe, finally the elections were declared and Mwai Kibaki emerged the winner, right, of that election. And that's it. That's the fact. That is history, right? That is history.
Are you saying that elections in this country have never been rigged, cannot be rigged? Is that your position?
Any election that is rigged, and I'm not saying that there are not cases where elections are rigged. When an election is rigged, people go to court and they overturn them. And the courts look at the numbers, they look at the figures, and the elections are overturned, right? So I'm not saying there is the best way to know whether an election was rigged or not rigged is to subject it to due process that comes up with an outcome that confirms whether the election was fair or not fair, whether it was rigged or it was fair. So, but from where I sit, it is not easy to rig an election and get away with it. It's not easy.
So all those supporters of ODM who believed that in 2007 the election was not fair, and at the time, I remember very well, a number of you in ODM voiced concern and said that this election had been fiddled with, that it was actually not the true representation of the people. Are you today saying that was all just talk in ODM, or you don't know?
You see, we didn't finally get to a point where we tested what we were saying as against what was announced. If we had gone to an election petition, for example, and like ODM did in 2017, yeah, or NASA for that matter, did in 2017, they went to an election. They had complaints, they had concerns. They went before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court looked at the whole election. They came up with a verdict. We didn't agree with it as Jubilee because we believed we had won fair and square. The courts decided otherwise, that we hadn't won fairly. What did we do? We subjected ourselves, we submitted ourselves to another election, right? We went back to the people. And that is what should be the case. And while on that point, Joe, you know, there is the issue where we are even battling now with, you know, there are several issues that are being put on the table. Some of it being projected against the elections before, that, you know, we have not had elections that are credible, And that is why we need to change the constitution. That's why we need to engage in